We're on. Okay. Happy Election Day, everybody. Arizona Secretary of State here with a quick media briefing. We've got several things that are developing. I will just go ahead and start chatting here for about the next minute or two about some general stuff, and then we'll get into the meat of it. Just give folks a minute or two to log on here. So for the most part, and by all accounts, the election day is going very well across most of the state. We do have some minor issues that we will talk about, and some issues that we are working through right now and continuing to get updates from. So we'll have some stuff on that. Also, please, if you are messaging to voters, please let them know that if they are in line by 7 p.m., they don't have to be in the polling station, but if they are in line by 7 p.m., they are still eligible to vote. That's an important part of the way we do things here in Arizona. And then also along those lines, if voters still have their early ballots in their ballot by mail envelopes, they can cut right through the line, get up to the front, and drop those off immediately. They don't have to wait in line to drop off those ballots. Another quick thing, for any other voter information, Arizona.vote is going to be the general source for trusted information, and that's one of the things we want to make sure to get out there. All right, so we've got a couple of really important updates. As we get closer to the rush hour, voting is going to start increasing. We're already seeing a little bit more turnout, and the lines are getting a little bit longer right now. Folks are working hard across the state to make sure we get everybody through, and that's really important. But folks should be aware that the only people who are authorized to be in the polling places, aside from the poll workers and voters, are going to be folks who are official party observers appointed by the county party chairs of the major county parties, and officials from the Department of Justice who also have their written clearance or permission to be in there. My office has not authorized any other groups or affiliates to enter any polling places. We've heard hints that that is a possibility. I haven't been briefed completely on that. Apparently the issues were very easily resolved by some of the polling place officials on the ground, and so it didn't rise to any sort of a level of any sort of alerts. It's just we'll see how that little piece develops. We've been monitoring a particular threat that has emerged. We have a statement that we've gotten information from the FBI. Or do we need to make an adjustment there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. From the FBI. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. We are aware that there have been threats made not just here in Arizona, but Georgia, Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin as to bomb threats in Arizona. The threats pertained to 4 specific locations in Navajo County only. These are unsubstantiated threats. We have no reason to believe that any of our voters or any of our polling places are in any sort of jeopardy. I was briefed just moments ago by my security team and some folks with state law enforcement who are working in conjunction with the feds. This is another, we believe, probing attack. We also have reason to believe, although I won't get into specifics, that this comes from one of our foreign enemies, namely Russia. They've been busy lately, I suppose. Let's see. We'll head over to Apache County for an update. There has been an e-poll book and a printer problem. Now, this is county-wide. This doesn't only exist on the reservations in Apache County. There are technical teams out in the field that are resolving these issues. Most of the sites in Apache County are up and running well. As we understand at this moment, there are still some residual issues out in Apache County. And we're doing our best in our office with our folks to work with the county election officials there to see if we can resolve any of the remaining problems. I did have a meeting with the speaker of the Navajo Nation Council and one of the delegates to the council and some of their staff, along with the state election director, excuse me, to talk about some of the details and continue those open lines of communication we have with our tribal governments as we try to facilitate voting that is not only in Apache County but also on the Navajo Nation and in other spaces. So we're going to continue to have those conversations. We'll keep them updated as we get more information and back and forth. So the communication is very clear with the folks on the ground out there. We are doing what we can to help resolve those issues. We'll keep you posted on that. Again, back to, nope, we already covered that one. There is a little bit of what we understand, a couple of reports of some misinformation going on, particularly in Coconino County, as to student voters. Unless you are registered to vote 29 days ahead of this election, you are not eligible to vote, not even for president in Arizona. We do not have same-day voter registration. Some students, as I understand, are being informed otherwise, and they're being told that they can vote for president without being registered in Arizona. This is not true. And so if there are folks up there in the Flagstaff area, please understand that we're doing what we can to share on social media and in other ways to discourage this practice. But no voter can be turned away. And even if you vote with a provisional ballot, that's perfectly legal under the law. That doesn't mean it will necessarily count, and frankly, usually they do. But if you are not registered to vote within 29 days of the election, you are not eligible to vote, even if you are registered outside of Arizona. You've got to be an Arizona voter to be able to vote in Arizona. This is an unidentified group that has been telling this to voters, saying they can use a Fed-only ballot or just vote for president. Neither one of these things is true. And voters across the state can verify their voter registration status at my.arizona.vote. I'll repeat that website, my.arizona.vote. At this time, that's the update. We're doing it in this format because we've got a lot going on, and we wouldn't have had time for questions anyway, although I've been given a high sign that we may have a question or two that have popped up on YouTube, which is the only channel through which for this briefing we're going to be taking questions. Do we have anything that is up yet?
Not currently.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and leave the briefing at that stage for now. I just want to run back through here. I apologize and make sure I didn't miss any important points. If you'll bear with me, folks, I do appreciate it. All right, looks like we're good. I just want to close on this point. And again, to explain very quickly how our results come in Arizona. Just imagine 3 buckets. The first bucket is your 8 p.m. bucket. These are our early ballots. Everything that has been processed up to the point when the counties are ready to report at 8 p.m. That's bucket number 1. Bucket number 2 is election day voters, not the voters who bring their ballot on election day, but the folks who actually vote on election day, filling out their ballot in person. That number, that set of numbers will be revealed through the evening tonight, starting sometime well after 8 p.m. Now, as a caveat there, most of our counties in Arizona are central tabulation, so the ballots have to be transported to a central tabulation location to be tabulated, and then those numbers will come out. Even our counties, however, where tabulation happens on site, those data cards or the USB sticks or whatever the technology is they use have to be transported back to the disconnected server physically so we can get those numbers up. That's bucket number 2, election day voters. And of course, the third bucket is all of the early ballots that are either handed in on election day or which have not been processed yet. Bucket number 3 will go on for several days. We expect we expect official results to be prepared 10 to 13 days, and I think I'm getting the high sign over here. Are we done, or do we have a question?
Yeah, there was a question, sir. They wanted to know how you know it was Russian on the bomb threats, so maybe just clarify.
Yeah, we're not going to reveal that at this moment in time. We're still making sure to be as clear as possible with that, with our federal and local, our federal partners on that specific. But look, Russia wants to sow a lot of mistrust and distrust. They've been increasing their repetitiveness and their sort of directness in these attacks, spreading misinformation and disinformation. And, Vladimir Putin would love us to hate one another, and so that doesn't surprise me that it is. I don't know that I'm at liberty to reveal anything more than my solid suspicion grounded in information that I don't know that I can share yet. So I'm going to have to leave it at that. And is there another one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There was just ask if there's any update on numbers, which might mean you might just have to say when they can expect numbers.
When we can expect numbers?
Yes, or the first.
8 p.m. 8 p.m. is when we do that bucket number one. That's the only thing we can really guarantee at this moment in time. We're not going to try to push the counties to get us updated numbers from this office. And y'all in the media can ask those questions. But we know how hard they're working on everything else right now. So many folks doing a lot of work. I know that we will get some good numbers later on this evening. But if we do get anything solid that we're ready to report, we could push it out there. Anything else?
Yeah, Jen wants to know if we
Jen Fifield?
There's only one Jen, sir.
Blue Pen Jen?
Can you say if the threats to Navajo sites are credible, and if so, what is being done to protect those locations, and are they still open?
The federal and state and local law enforcement agencies are doing everything they need to do within the protocols, including, as I understand, folks have been deployed to the locations. We don't have any reason to believe that anyone is in jeopardy or any of these locations are in jeopardy. That comes from the folks who are analyzing these threats, not from me. That's not my gut. That's not my hunch. And so I got briefed right before I came on this call. So we can say with some confidence, as informed by those folks who take care of that stuff, that no one is under any threat as we understand it right now. But I think they are sending folks out to these locations just to verify that. But these threats aren't credible at this time. Anything else?
Did the polling places in Navajo Nation have to close down at any time?
No polling places have closed on Navajo because of these bomb threats at any point in time. This is my understanding, and I'm pretty sure. I can't confirm that, but I'm pretty sure none of them actually closed.
And that's pretty much it, sir.
Okay, well, thanks, everybody. We're going to go ahead and sign off here. I don't know if we're going to do another briefing, but I'm sure there's plenty of stuff here that many of you will want follow-up on, and so we will continue to retrieve and process more information. And if we get another pile of data that we want to make sure you all are informed about, we'll make that happen sometime later this afternoon or throughout the evening at some point. All right, let's go ahead and kill the transmission. Is that